Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Jeff. A lot of people have been kind of inquiring about how I do rats, so I figured I'd show you what I do. You can see I have just a few racks. I'm inside, I got to keep the smell down, so I'll tell you what I do to do that. And I'll go around and show you each kind of section of my small space right here, so you get an idea of how I'm doing it. And now let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing I'll show you is my chest freezer. So when I'm freezing the rats, I can just stick them in bags, put everything right in the freezer right next to the rodent racks. Easy to get to, easy to load. Down here, that's tubes. They're paper tubes that I cut for the rats, and they like to crawl through there and pull the paper out, make nests out of it. I just get long lengths of it and cut them off and just put them here, and they're just ready to go when I'm changing out. Sometimes they shred them up pretty bad, so I chuck them, give them a new one. I don't use a water system. I use the bottles. I've heard horror stories about the water systems kind of starting to leak or filling up the tubs. And if I had more racks, I'd probably use it. But since I don't have that many, I just stick with the bottles, because I figure if one bottle of water ends up malfunctioning and draining into the tub, which has happened to me once, it wasn't that bad. So that's what I do. So I just stick a, so like a 2.5 gallon dispenser, and if it ever leaks, I got a trash can right there that catches it. This rack here, sorry, the room is a little small, so it's hard to catch everything. The bigger rack here, it's a 21 gallon, and the smaller racks in the background there are 9 gallon. And I like the bigger ones because they just give them more room to roam. I've kept the same number of rats in them, and I just like it because it gives them more space. Maybe a little more humane, I don't know. I've got the top built up so it holds plenty of food. There's one there. That's one of my girls, one of the moms. I'm not breeding them right now. They're on break. Their pups are long gone. They'll probably be next on the list for a pairing. Up on the top, you can see where I have some blue tape. I've got a male and a female in there. I paired them up on the 28th of February. And so there's mom there, and dad is crawling through the tube. I just got the one female in here right now. Going down here, there's another pairing. They were paired up on the 18th. That's dad. Now you can see, I don't know if the light is picking it up, but you can see all the shredded paper. The dad likes to demolish this one, the male in this cage. He just likes to demolish the tube. You can see they peel it all out from the inside. So, hey buddy. And I put a little block of wood in there for them. They can chew on that if they want. Just give them a little something to keep occupied. So he's in there with a couple girls. The girls like it when he comes around. So they should be, it looks like she's filling out a little bit there. And the black one in the back, she's going to, I'll probably have babies from them in a week and a half or so. But that's what they tend to do, is they make these nests with that paper. So down here, let's see, I got a couple moms in here. Hey girl. Another one there, and then you can see they've They got the wood chips all mound up, but back there you can kind of see, kind of dark back there. If they got some, and they left one behind. So these are the bigger racks, and then the smaller racks right here. It's cleaning day, which is why I'm doing the video, so I can show you how I do it. But I just thought I'd give you an overview of what I've got going on right now. There's some little ones. They're about 3.5 weeks old. And they don't have as big of a food hopper here. So I like the bigger tubs because they're smooth on the bottom. And I'll show you. The 9 gallons had this little lump where that white dot is. That's actually epoxy. They gnaw through there, and you can see where they'll gnaw a hole right through the bottom of the tub. And so if you don't keep an eye on them and you got a chewer, you might have an escapee. Down on the bottom, you can see I shoved a piece of plywood in the bottom of this tub because at one time I had one that was gnawing through constantly. It didn't matter what I did, so that just was kind of a safety measure. Alright, so moving over here, I've got this tub here, and I just empty everything into that when I'm cleaning, and then that gets dumped out into my mulch pile. The trash can in the back is the food. So you can see I've got a little thing to pick it out with. Over here I've got my bedding container, or bedding hoppers. And, so in this one I have a coarser chip that they like to bed in, nest in, and then the other side I've got this powdery, it's more of a fine flake, and I usually layer the bottom of the tub with that because it absorbs the urine a lot better than this other stuff. This really doesn't absorb all that well. It's great for nesting and that sort of thing, but it just didn't, when you have an indoor or in your house rat room, you want to keep the smell down, and the absorbent fine chip tends to help with that a little bit more. So now this is the table that I do the cleaning on. The big bin in the bottom, I put the rats in there while I'm cleaning their tub. I clean the tub on the top. The disinfectant I use is the F10SC. That's a new batch I have. It's all taped up. But I just pre-mix that in a big bottle, and then I fill the sprayer up. And that works pretty good. I wipe all the tubs out with that. I have tubes on the bottom in that bin. Those are smaller paper tubes. I put those in with when I have the smaller rats. That gives them something to play around in. And rubber gloves on the bottom. And I think that's about it. What I'll do is I'll go and show you how I do the cleaning now. Okay, now you've seen everything. I'll go through just 1 or 2 racks, and just to show you how I operate. Maybe get some ideas from it. Maybe you'll watch it and say, man, that was really stupid. Why don't you do it this way, and help me out. I appreciate that. So, like I said before, this is the tub I keep the rats in when I'm cleaning. My table here. So I'll start with, what I usually do is fill all the bottles up, tip them over. I've already filled them. And then that way, when I've cleaned the tub, put it back in, put the water in, I know I'm done with that one. So I'll go ahead and start with this one. These girls are still a little gun shy with handling them, and I don't like to pick them up by the tail if I don't have to, but sometimes they leave me no choice. She's done pretty good, but so they just go in there. This one's a little more, sometimes she squeaks a little bit. This is kind of the hangout right here. Dump everything in. Got a plastic putty knife from, I think it was Walmart. Filed the corners down so it doesn't gouge this tub. And that just kind of knocks out anything that's hard into the bucket. This one wasn't that bad. Then I take my F10 SC spray. Go around the inside, grab a couple towels. Wiped out, trash that. I have a Frisbee that I pick up the loose sawdust with. Kind of sprinkle a layer on the bottom. And I get the other bedding material, the rougher, fluffier stuff. It comes pretty compacted, so you gotta kind of break it up. And then that's what it would look like. It's ready to go. Throw their blocks back in. Their tube, that one's getting a little run down, so I grab another one, put it in there, put the bottle in place, and then usually they're ready to go back in. So that's one. And you see that's not too bad. This one, I'll do this one because it's a little dirty. This is the one I showed you with all the matted up paper. And so this boy, he's great. This is Jonah. So he's a good boy. Now these girls, you can tell they're fattening up a little bit. So they'll be, like I said, another week and a half or so. Yeah, I can feel her belly's really big too. She might be a week. That goes out. And usually I put just a couple wood blocks in to keep them occupied. If I got too much paper, I don't want too much of that in my mulch pile. So I'll pull a lot of that out, and that'll just end up going into the garbage. And then the rest of it can go in. But you can see, even as messy as that was, the bin isn't that bad. I think the fine bedding on the bottom layer really does a good job at keeping things cleaned up. You can see it doesn't take that long to go through one and clean it up, and that's pretty cleaned up. Again, take Frisbee full of dust, sprinkle bottom layer. Sometimes it gets a little dusty when the weather's a little better. I got a window; it's hard to see because of the lighting. And I got a fan there, and I'll cut the fan on once in a while. And It helps getting a little bit of the smell out too if it starts getting a little reeky in here. But it's really not too bad. Consider the number I have in here. I usually change things over around maybe every 3 days or so. It seems excessive, but I like to keep them clean. The cleaner they are, probably the happier they are, and happier I am because it doesn't stink. So what I'll probably do with these girls now that I know they're pregnant is I'll probably move them into the smaller rack and then bring someone over here over with the male to be with, and then they can kind of be just quiet and have their babies over there. And this boy, I love this guy, he's great. And that's pretty much it. So I'll go through the rest of them. You don't need to watch me do everything, but thanks for watching. If you got any questions, tips for me, let me know. And like I said, thanks for watching.